Yes.
So good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the June 11th, 2024 Idlewise Board of Commissioners meeting. And we're going to start the meeting at 9 a.m. with the approval of the agenda. Any need for a non-public session?
I don't think so.
None that I'm aware of.
We may come up with issues as we discuss stuff that we can do it next week. Maybe. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for discussion. Second by Nancy. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0 to approve the agenda. At 9:01, we move to approval of the minutes, and I didn't get a copy because of, my email system is considering email coming from the office spam now, and it's rejecting it for some reason.
That's not good.
I
And
reviewed
it
them.
just
The minutes.
randomly
You started,
happens.
huh?
So about the minutes from last week?
Yeah, yes, you weren't
June
here.
4th. I was not here, so
You
I have
He's
got to
still
abstain
got a
for anything.
copy.
But,
you have some notes anyway?
yeah, just my name's spelled incorrectly on
Oh.
page 3.
Oh, great. Sorry.
It's not Nevin, it's Niven.
I think I did that once before, no one caught it.
You have spell check from it, Evan.
You'd have to plug that in manually.
You
have it put
would,
in.
yeah.
Any other comments on the minutes? So, I didn't get them and he didn't. So, should we hold off
He didn't what?
approving them until two of us can?
Well, I read them, they read
He
fine to
wasn't
me.
here, he just had a,
Right,
Right.
he read them for his,
I read them, and I mean, I
Right.
can't vote on them, but they looked okay to me, other than my misspelling.
that's what I'm saying, I can't vote on it because I didn't see him.
right,
So we have to hold off to it next week.
okay.
I can't read them now.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Take
All
it to
right,
me.
so held off.
Okay.
Yes. Table to next week.
Yep.
Approval of manifests. We have 3 of them?
We've got 3 of them, but I neglected to bring the payroll. I have the amount here, so
I
at some
have-
point you can probably
You
sign
have
it.
a copy of
later.
it? Did you look at it? Payroll manifest, we can show it to you if you want.
Yeah.
I did, it looked fine.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I got a copy here.
I just neglected to bring the hard copy.
So I'll make a motion that we approve
We
the
could use
manifest for
Wix.
discussion. Nancy, do you second that?
Second,
Seconded by Nancy, discussion on payroll manifest. I think we used to get them with the manifest and in the same PDF there'd be images of the time cards. But I don't think you guys ever saw that, so I don't know if you want it that way or not.
I
If
don't
the
know.
manifest is good.
It's changed so many times now.
I mean, it's nice to see the time cards, but is that, you know, just that much more busy work for Jennifer? I mean, we can,
I have found that I keep all of the weekly meetings in folders by year,
yeah,
which I've gone back to 2023 to the meeting month, the meeting week, and pulled up and looked at time cards, particularly with FEMA. I mean, there's things that you don't know
yeah.
that you might want to be able to go back and look at it, and I have found that over and over again.
I agree, copies of time cards need to be retained.
The actual time cards are retained.
Okay. All right, but you want them for your,
I like,
right,
they
okay.
were great to have them right in my own laptop because we got them every week.
Yeah, no, I've got no
Every,
problem,
every payroll.
I've got no problem reviewing them myself, I'm just,
I think we should add them, especially in the winter. It's more important because there's overtime and different storms and different things like that happening during snow time. And that can happen anytime, depending on what Mother Nature decides to throw us. So, yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be extra trouble because I make copies for the guys anyway.
Okay.
So
okay,
it's not
Okay.
an added,
then let's do it.
So I have to rotate this around so I can see it.
Is this the payroll where we get paid?
No,
well,
that was last week,
yeah, that was last week, so
For the-
hopefully you guys saw something
for the month of May.
I didn't look.
for the month of May.
You get
Correct.
paid for June next month.
Yep.
Okay, so,
So the payroll manifest does include the 6/7, which is you guys, for the month of May. And the regular payroll, which is coming up Friday.
right. So I'm looking for the bottom line here on this.
I stole it.
Yeah, it's okay, the $6,486.52.
$6,486.52.
Yep.
Mhm.
So make a motion that we approve this manifest, that we sign it out of session.
Second?
Discussion? Pretty straightforward.
Yep.
The only thing that varies is Tony's time. Everybody else is doing a 40-hour week, and there was a holiday. Trivia question, what was the holiday, if you can remember, 2 weeks back?
Memorial Day.
Was.
All in favor of this manifest?
Aye,
Aye.
3-0 to sign it out of session. Next, we have an operations manifest.
Yep, which you probably missed most copies.
I've got some questions on this, just for clarification.
I'll make a motion that we approve the operating manifest, and I'm not sure, I did get a spreadsheet. And the dollar amount of it is $13,996.94.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, I need to second from Nancy,
Second.
just to make it efficient, I go to Nancy. And now you have a question for discussion.
I do. I went over each of the bills and first I want to ask, I know there's probably an easy explanation, but I want to know what I'm looking at. If you look at Eastern, on our manifest, we're paying $743.66, but the bill says $1,784.32.
Not 84,000.
So did we prepay at some point?
Yeah, we paid, there was a bill paid
Prior
that
to that.
didn't correct.
Okay, that's what I kind of thought. I just wanted to verify that.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to Napa, man, couldn't understand the way this added up whatsoever. We're paying Napa $137.91, which is on the first page, but if you keep going through the bills, there's another one bill for $58.98. There's a credit for $70.28, and I know where that feeds into another bill, and that feeds into the final bill where they credited, but we also still got one. So $149.21. So it seems to me that paying them what we put on there, we're short by $208.19. Or did we prepay something?
No, it was prepaid again.
It's already paid
Yep,
again.
Yep,
Okay.
and yep, adding in that credit.
Okay.
Yep,
Just.
Good.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Then I'm
yep,
good with
that
it.
statement copy is the true balance.
Okay. That's all I wanted to know. I'm
Okay,
good.
Great.
So, I wanted you to know that Alvin Coleman, we bought a truckload of gravel for $153.53. And we got, there's a fuel surcharge with every load. And I was wondering, is it their truck that delivered that load? Do you
The
know?
last load that came from Mitchell.
This has got a date on it, I believe, of the end of May. So this invoice isn't maybe for the last one if that came in June.
No, I believe that came the end of May.
So Coleman charges a fuel surcharge,
For loading it.
well,
Yep,
it's like 6%.
I believe even if we went in there and got loaded, they charged that.
It was $9, 9 something to load it. Okay. So just to give you an idea, a
Fuel surcharge right here, $9.60.
triaxle is $153 of 3/4 inch crushed gravel.
Well, that's with the fuel charge,
Yep,
yeah.
that's loading it though, that's not, and then we're paying Mitchell to truck it or somebody else to truck it, so.
Right, like if they were to truck it, again, I don't
But
know
the
how much. it
cost
was.
of filling a triaxle at Coleman's is $153, and I'll watch to see an invoice from High Street, is the name of the company?
yeah, it's on
Yes.
here too, there's a bill in here. High Street Sand and Gravel. And that bill included, remember, we looked at it and
It
included.
had other stuff, the
it
sand
included
that he
March,
brought.
yeah, he hadn't billed in quite some time, so he had
There were other
other,
His bill
loads.
is for $862.50.
What was that for then? 862.
That was some loads of sand that he brought us, the load of gravel.
I don't think I saw that invoice yet.
I did see it.
I did.
But, I'm just trying, but that's strictly just transporting materials,
Yes.
but not actual materials.
so.
No, they're the
yeah,
materials
it's
and
updated
everything.
3/6, 3/28.
It's materials and transportation or just transportation? I'm sorry.
The sand, yeah, it's materials and the
Okay.
one from, sand and gravel, because the gravel he gets from Coleman's, but the sand he gets from their own pit.
Right,
Okay.
So, and then there's other stuff there that he had to get from Burke's pit. He got a triaxle of the stone. He got the screen sand was from his own pit. And then there was 3/4 gravel he got from Coleman's.
Yeah, 2 loads of screen sand
Yeah.
delivered, $550. Ooh, that was back on March 28th.
and.
Right, that, yeah, he hadn't billed
He hadn't billed,
in a while.
They don't have a very good accounts payable person there. Okay, yeah, I see it now. Who is, where was the one I had a question on? I just didn't recognize the name. Windy something or other?
Wendy Ridge,
Windy Rich.
Yeah, what are they?
We
they,
chainsaw company, that logging type of supplies.
they're on Route 25 in. are they
Tamworth.
In Tamworth,
Yeah,
and they have the supplies that Jeff is talking about.
right, we needed a bar for the chainsaw.
Yeah.
It had gotten pinched, and bent a little bit, so it wasn't cutting straight. So we had to buy a new bar, and while we were there, I figured I'd get a new chain too.
Okay.
It's always good to have a couple extra chains.
Yeah,
We've been doing a lot of cutting with that storm, that last
say.
snowstorm. We're pretty done now, but we've been doing a lot of cutting, and with Ashblunt in there, they've kinda left a lot of stuff on the sides of the roads, in the ditch lines, plugging pipes. So we're taking that stuff out and picking that stuff up, and some of it we gotta cut.
cut up,
and,
yeah.
So been kinda busy doing a lot of cutting
yeah.
this spring.
Yeah, luckily there've been a few firewood enthusiasts scavenging
Well,
that
there's
stuff
plenty of
up.
wood out there,
Well,
have at it,
no-
people.
no kidding.
Go get it.
It's
No
like, oh,
kidding.
have it, have it.
Anybody
Manpower
who
to
burns
do it.
wood and's got some ambition, there's
No
plenty of it
kidding.
around the district.
Got that right.
Yeah, I spoke to a resident not too long ago saying, you can have mine, I'm right around the corner from you. You
Right.
Take what I've got left, take it.
So on Mitchell's bill, it looks like it's $125 an hour for a triaxle. But then 2 loads of screen sand, quantity 2 is $275 instead of $250. It doesn't say triaxle, the bill is kinda,
I mean, the 2 loads of screen sand,
Yeah, you see
$275
how-
a piece.
one load, quantity 1 of a triaxle's $125.
But it's his sand, right?
Yes,
That's, well, oh, so it's $25 for the sand? It might be.
No,
He
these-
might
these
have
are
brought less sand too, because they told him, Madison had told him, because the roads were posted, not to be a full load. So it may not be
So he
a
couldn't
full,
drive down High Street with it,
with a
otherwise
full
he's on state
triaxle
road.
load.
Okay,
I
So
gotcha.
he couldn't put a full load on, I
Good.
remember him mentioning that to me.
and there's a bill from Albany Service Center for $818.75. And that was, free up tailgate linkage, dismount tires and swap and install summer tires. That was that's $435 for 4 of them, $145 a tire.
5 tires, 6 tires.
Well, some of them were warranty, weren't they? No? Oh,
No,
I guess
no.
I'm thinking about the wrong thing. Sorry.
It says, that might be hours, it says quantity and it says 3 times, then it says 24. Summer tires to winter tires.
Yep, they switched the tires over for it's on the 18, and that's when that linkage on that tailgate got all banged up on us when we got that back from Mark Motors.
Okay. We're not even in the DPW report, we're just going through.
Right, no, I understand.
Yeah, some of these bills, the way they lay it out are not, it's not crystal clear what's going on, but,
Well, that's why you could ask, because again, I don't see those bills, or I haven't seen them.
okay.
I know,
so we
I
have-
know what's, you know, what we're getting and what's going on.
Yeah, and you can
stuff.
speak to them if you're
Right,
asked.
right.
So we have a motion on the floor, any further discussion on this manifest, which I should, give the dollar amount again?
No, I think,
$13,996.94,
correct.
that's the manifest?
Yep.
Mhm.
No further discussion, how do you vote?
I,
3-0 to approve this manifest for $13,996.94. Good thing we have money in the bank.
You do now.
yes,
Next on the agenda is
Water.
the water manifest. And I have a spreadsheet for that too.
There's so many parts here, which one was that?
I wonder if it's Word files, Word file attachments. that
None
it's
of them
sent.
were Word, they were all PDFs.
Even the minutes?
Well, the minutes didn't go with that stack. The minutes are
We'll
separate.
figure it out later,
Yeah.
I didn't mean to. So the water manifest is for,
These are the February, March, and April expenses paid by operating.
so this is a transfer?
It is, it's
I have a
money
dollar
due
amount of
back.
$10,620.52?
Correct.
yes,
So this is the water fund reimbursing the operating fund for paying the bills for it
yep,
for
a few months.
a couple of months
Yeah.
back.
February,
She has
March,
listed
April.
out the months. So I'll make a motion that we approve this transfer of $10,620.52 from the operating checking account to the water checking account, the water.
No,
assessment.
Other way
from
around.
water
Other way around.
Other way
to
around. It's
operating.
going from the water assessment fund to the operating account. to
Yep.
Yes.
Reimburse it for
Right,
bills it
reimburse it,
paid,
yes,
which I said just a second ago. I'll make
exactly.
that motion, Nancy, do you second
Second.
it? Second it for the record, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, we'll sign this out of session, or do you have it here?
I got it here.
Okay.
Stuff, so.
Next on the agenda at 10:18 is the DPW report. Good morning, Jeff.
Good morning. So I see you got this Mark Motors estimate on that converter. Do we wanna move forward on that, or,
I have a little discussion on that.
okay,
So, I don't have a good visual other than what I saw when the dump body was lifted and we were looking at it, because it's on the truck with the dump body, right?
correct, well, they both dump, but the flatbed, yes.
So the flatbed was up when we were
Yeah.
looking at it. Now, this is a metal enclosure around the catalytic converter.
Correct,
And so it could be a heat shield and it could be a protection seal, and it's
Correct.
probably both.
Yeah.
And the reason that we sent it, asked Mark Motors for a quote was, it came into the garage smoking for the second time. The first time was a suspicious event that we won't get into right now, but it remained crowbarred open, and it came into the garage on an occasion a month ago, roughly? More than
Yeah,
once?
and it was more than one occasion. It's probably been about 3-4 weeks since it's happened.
Okay, so
Mark
it's-
Motors well, we just got the truck back too.
So it's been,
It happened multiple times.
is it because debris is getting in there and it cooks against this catalytic converter, or we don't know?
I don't know.
So here's my thought. Mark Motors is quoting us over $5,000 because it's an assembly that requires us to buy a lot of other things not related to the shield that this is mounted on.
It's all one part
It
type
is.
of thing.
It's the catalytic converter for $2,000 and the exhaust piping
it
system
comes,
that
yeah.
supports it before and afterwards, I imagine, and all the parts and grommets and gaskets and bolts and labor.
It all
And-
comes as one big piece.
So, we have a version of it that hasn't been damaged in the other truck, so we know what it looks like when it's good. And the reason I'm pausing is, for $5,000, there's a very talented metal fabrication shop that's on the street opposite the entrance to the Kank, 112. I'm thinking before we spent $5,200 to get this fixed, could we have them take a look at it and give us a quote of them fabricating a replacement of this thing where they're not buying a $2,200 catalytic converter and all of the pipes and everything else. They're just making a new shield that keeps it from smoking because stuff is getting in there because it was opened with a crowbar.
Well, is the catalytic converter itself working and intact? Is it just the housing, the
I
protective?
mean, that's where I guess Mark Motors, I mean, from what I understand, the truck's functioning properly.
I would think that if the catalytic converter fails, you'd be getting O2 sensor lights coming on the dashboard telling you
Right,
to
I mean,
bring
I
it into
believe
a
everything
garage.
is working properly. Like I say, when it gets hot, it starts smoking, and it gets hot for its regeneration. Those diesel trucks have to go through a burn off for the exhaust. And when that happens, I believe that's why it's getting so hot, because there's no shield around that to cause it from getting the heat coming out, it's escaping, I guess, and why it's smoking the way it is. So again, it's worth having another guy give an opinion on. I mean, I can't see why that would hurt.
Yeah, I can't see why it can't hurt either.
You know, what Mark Motors has told me is they can't just put that back together. It's all one piece. The way it's been torn apart, that the whole thing, that's what, like Mark's saying, it's gonna cost a lot of money.
$5,200. So I think we should take pictures of both trucks' assemblies, the bad one and the good one.
Right.
We could start, if I get those pictures, I can go to the fabricator and say, are
Right.
you interested in even quoting this?
Is it, I mean, if
It
he's able to.
might even be able to be done by Albany Service Center, but
Yeah,
I think this is actual fabrication where
I mean,
these guys do stuff like this all the time.
yeah, again, I don't know. I mean, maybe something got peeled apart that's not gonna go back together properly.
Cut it off.
To stop it from doing what it's doing. You know, that could be the case too, and then we're
They might be able
forced,
to add a piece to what's left if they cut back.
but maybe they can do something like that again. That's Adam, that's a specialty guy.
So I'm gonna make a motion that we take pictures and I bring them to the fabricator off of Route 16 and I guess that might be, that's right at the Conway line. I
Could
think
be
it's
Albany,
Con-
could be
I think
Conway.
it's- you
I
know
think
what
his
I'm talking
name is
about.
Steve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'll make that motion. Do I have a second
Second.
for discussion?
No, that's before. Can't hurt to get an opinion whether that can be done or not.
Right,
Worst they can
right.
say is, no, we can't do that.
Right, yeah, exactly, and, again, it's out of my wheelhouse.
Yep. So it's just a matter of coordinating with you to get.
Yeah, we'll get
this
down
done.
there, we'll put the bodies up outside both trucks, and you can get a good look at those, that setup, cause they're both the same.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. So we'll try to get that done, along with the list of other things that you have to do.
So we'll move on to the playground, I guess. I got an email, the office got an email there about the swirly.
Merry-go-round.
The merry-go-round,
Just
there we
what a
go.
merry-go-round
We checked that out, yeah, it sounds like it did. I don't know, Andrew and I popped that off, geez, maybe five or 6 years ago now.
6 years.
I remember helping him out with that, and then he found a guy that was able to, he found the bearing, and he found a guy that painted it and all that type of stuff. But sounds like the bearing is gone again, it seems like it's doing the same thing.
And it needs to be painted again.
Yeah, so I don't know what the.
Now, do you have to go under it to release something to get that to lift off? It's
Yeah, I think there were bolts that he took off.
from under. You had to get underneath
Yeah,
to
he
do
was
it?
on his back under there screwing.
Okay, so he didn't take that center plate off because it doesn't look like those bolts want to come off anyway.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just remember him on his back there, reaching up, taking bolts out.
So right now it's going to be contingent on hearing from Andrew, who knows about it because he's on the internet telling people that he figured out 6 years ago. He thought it was 10.
Right.
Because I know what that's like.
Yeah.
And so you recollect a little bit about taking it off with him.
Yeah, I was there with him. I helped him carry it and bring it to his house.
We'll see if he remembers where he got the bearing, and we'll see if we could take it from him and get it done, because he might not have the ability to do it again this time. So we need to get information from him first, which we should try to get soon. We're communicating with him on other things.
Has it been roped off? Has it been?
Yeah, we put some tape
There
on
was
it.
some
I mean,
caution tapes put on.
yeah. And then I did notice there was one of the little kiddie swings.
Yeah. Why'd you took one down, you said?
I took it down. It was broken. Where the rope goes in, it had split it open. I mean,
Plastic broke.
The plastic was broke.
This is like a little kid's car seat type
Yeah,
of swing.
right.
Yeah. All the other ones looked good, but that one was broke. There's 2 of those, and then like 5 old, regular swings, or so, whatever it was.
I don't know if I've ever seen 2 babies swinging. That's on a swing set that has 5 or 6 other
Right.
Regular.
swings for
Yeah, the regular type of swings there.
for immature adults and other larger children.
I tested it last night.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, it's a good way to test
I was
it
trying to get him
out.
to swing it up over
right?
the pole, but he didn't.
But yeah, there's the ones with the chains also fine.
Yeah.
Like I say, the other one with the rope seems okay. I mean, they're frayed, but they still seemed like they weren't ready to come apart. Because I replaced those ropes maybe again 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. And that time they were like ready to fall apart. Where this time those ropes didn't seem like they were ready to fall apart, but the chair was broken.
I think what should happen is that Kerry McNiven, who's already shopping to get prices on various pieces
Yes,
of equipment,
she's already
should we
been
need
shopping
to replace
around.
it, should shop for a
New baby swing.
new baby swing, and we probably should.
Just the seat itself.
Just to
Because I need to use the natural lines to then hook to the chains that are already there that are swim. That's
Right.
it, just the seat.
Yeah, then the rope. I mean, we replaced the ropes ourselves
Right.
one time. I mean, if the seat comes with the new rope or whatever,
Oh,
you
okay,
just,
yeah,
you
yeah,
just
okay.
hook it right on.
I think we should replace the other rope too, even if it's strong enough. It doesn't look
Right.
looks frayed.
Yeah.
So
It is fraying, but it
Right.
certainly does not look anywhere near,
Yeah, there's
Failing.
I'm
there's
sure
no
if it's a
tears in it.
firstborn
Or,
child, people are concerned about the ropes. If it's second over there, they don't care. Just throw the kid in.
right.
usually the case. We didn't want that kid anyway.
So let's see, do we need a motion here? What do you think, Doug?
EPOA will take a look at that, and if they're reasonable, we can actually get them and donate them. We were thinking of getting 2
Two new swings.
seats, yeah,
Yeah.
but we'll see. And the newer ones have the safety bar
Right.
to secure the child, so, the one that's there really isn't
Right.
safe, so.
Yeah.
Carrie said she'd look into that, see what we can find, and we'll get back to you and let you know.
Yeah, she was looking at merry-go-rounds last night, but I don't know about child swings. And also there was that little toy excavator thing, the
Yeah.
seat. Looks like that's something we could fix. It was
Oh, I didn't even look at that.
it's just the seat.
The
Take a look
seat.
at it, there's a black plastic seat,
Yeah.
and it's got two bolts that go down through the top. And the bolts come out to the mounting pipe that the seat sits on. The front bolt appears to be there, but it's broken off at the bottom.
Oh,
And I don't know where we'll get a bolt to match that is that length, but you could probably lift that bolt out to get an idea of what it looks like.
right.
And
Oh,
see
yeah,
that
I
it's
get
broken
it.
off at the bottom, it's where the thread is and the nut is gone.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
So take a look at that.
Okay.
And it's even loosened up the back bolt because the whole seat.
Right, right, because it's got only one holding it on, so it's, yeah, it's a couple new bolts is pretty easy. Some
Well,
washers.
Yeah, that was an easy one compared to merry-go-round.
Well,
Yeah.
we're talking about the playground. Has anyone checked the level of sand under the swings and that area? There's supposed to be a certain amount of sand. It's been probably at least 5 years, maybe 6, since we put more sand in there. And the EPOA did it, and the DPW used the backhoe to put it up into the,
Yeah, I've never done it, so
into
it was
the-
probably before me.
but I don't know.
6 years ago, so the way it looks now is where the swings are, there are troughs.
Yeah,
Okay, so the sand is built up outside of the flight path of the feet that swing through at 42 miles an hour. And 6 years ago, we didn't add sand. We raked it back
yeah.
because it builds up outside. Around the merry-go-round, where the big kids run the merry-go-round to get it up to 62 miles an hour before they jump on it. There's a trough, same thing, it can be raked back in. So, I don't think a lot of sand has left.
Okay,
It has moved by rain and by big kids.
okay.
So, a lot of labor. Doug,
We're gonna reach out to the troop, the Boy Scout troop. Last year they helped clean it up. And I'm gonna check with Yuri again and see if they're interested in helping pull the leaves out, rake the sand, trim the trees back and so forth.
Nice.
So that should get it back into pretty good shape.
because I did notice when I walked around, the trees could use a trimming.
yes.
I mean, if they
They
wanted to
noticed
do
that
it, I
too.
mean, I could do it, or, you know, however,
We
they,
need to get some clips for the, some of the chain link fence is dropped off the railing. And that, the front line of fence opposite where the damage is, I don't know if it happened when that accident occurred or not, but the railing's pulled out of the post mount on the right-hand side toward the beach,
right.
so.
And that's in my report, but I probably should say it now and strike it off so you hear it. So I called the fence company while we're talking about the playground in general. If we're done with other playground stuff. It turned out that there was a guy from the fence company at the playground yesterday to size it up, even though they said they wouldn't come and do an estimate, they wanted us to send pictures. They got the pictures. His guy was there, I called him. Jennifer was highly amused at the conversation that happened over the conference call. But he said that he hadn't done an estimate yet, his guy was there. Then he talked about not having a workforce, that he's having trouble hiring people, and he's got more work than he has people that can get it done. And then talked about his son being in the hardscape business, that's landscaping with stones and building stairs out of rock and so forth. Just as a note for us being in the hiring business, he said that his son has hired 6 guys from Venezuela because he can't find anybody around here to do this kind of work. And he had to buy a fix-me-up house in Bartlett because in order to hire these guys, he has to house them. So it's not only paying them, but buying real estate and housing them. So that didn't make me think that the fence is gonna get repaired too quickly, other than he did finally send a guy down to look at it. And I guess that was a couple of weeks ago we sent the pictures?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago? Which, that's not
No,
Not
out of line,
terrible.
so
no, and he had someone over there to view
I don't have a
it.
good feeling of when he's gonna come
But-
to fix the fence.
Yeah, he's talking about manpower.
The Ashblunt guy stopped me yesterday and said that was gonna get done soon.
Really? Well,
So, the guy, the boss guy,
I specifically asked him if he had sent the quote in the email I sent,
Tom-
which they're not getting the emails.
Okay, they
They're
have
not getting
issues with
emails
their
either.
email too.
yeah, so he
Any
stopped me
emails, not
yesterday and
just
said
us.
they were on that, so they were gonna be taking care of it, but.
So that's the fence story as I know it, and how you know it.
Right, so
So-
hopefully that's moving along, but time will tell.
So we'll check in with them in a week or two to see if they have any updates or if it's not fixed.
I want-
So is are the Asplund guys contacting the same fence company we've been contacting? And
I believe so.
We gave them the Asplund
Blunt's number, so they're in contact with them.
contact info and said they agreed that they would be billing them directly, so.
Okay.
Right, so we're kinda not the middleman, but I guess we are.
I think we'd like to see
Yeah, we
them,
are.
We are from a scheduling point of view, just
It
not
sounds
from a
like it.
payment
Try to make
point
it
of view.
happen.
Yeah.
Right,
I asked for a copy of the quote and
No,
there was no
it's-
discussion that a quote had existed, that, from my conversation,
Right.
so. If you see the Asplund guy again, ask him what the quote is.
right.
Yeah,
Proof to see
if you got one, yeah.
Right, so just to throw back at the playground, just real quick, if, the office has to give Andrew my number, if he doesn't have it, he may still have it, I don't know, but,
Okay.
to
I can email it to him.
contact me if he's got any, insight and wants in,
Yeah,
on that, but, so that's it for that. Oh, I don't know, again, the the docks, Doug, we could talk about that, I guess.
Yep.
So we're slated for Friday. I don't know if you've seen the weather, but it doesn't look like that great Friday. I don't know if we could try to push it ahead, do it tomorrow or Thursday if it works for
Thursday's
you.
supposed to be sunny and 84 degrees, no rain.
So I don't know, I mean, not that we're have to get wet, but you never know. I did have to go into the culvert pipe yesterday and get wet and whoo, I was cold the rest of the day.
it wasn't a very warm day.
No, it wasn't a nice day to have to climb in a pipe down into my chest.
This is the pipe between the ponds, this is a
Right,
road pipe.
right,
This
the
is,
beaver problem that we've
This
been
this is
having.
moving pond water you're in.
Yeah, but, so I don't know if, I left you a message yesterday, I think on your cell phone, I don't know if you got
See
it
any
or
of them good
not.
dock spiders under there?
Oh, yeah, my head was rubbing the top of the pipe, they were crawling down my neck.
Every time I've kayaked through there, there's been them big dock spiders.
Oh,
under there.
yeah, no, I got up close and personal with them.
Okay, focusing on rafts.
Yeah.
Back to rafts.
Thursday then?
Do you wanna do, yeah, that'd be great.
And you guys gonna be on water as well? You wanna come out? and see
Yes,
how-
I got, yeah, no problem.
And does that work for you for moving our boat?
Oh, man, well, you want to kayak Thursday, I'm not available. Friday I said I'd help you Friday. But what can we do to pre-stage things?
If I could just borrow your kayak, I'll go and I have to pull the buoys up.
Yeah, for the
reposition them
Tussis
so we
Beach
can see
raft.
them. And then.
Deuces is out.
Yeah, but it may
Yeah.
not be moored properly.
I was gonna say, I don't know if it's in
Borrow
the
his kayak and go check
right,
it.
quite the right
Somebody-
spot or what, but I don't know how they put it out there, but I noticed yesterday driving
I saw-
by.
Yeah. it
And I
appears
walked out there and
Yeah.
sure enough, it's the Deuces one.
Yeah, Doug suspects it's not moored
Right, so
according
we'll
to
check
his
that.
specifications,
Yeah.
so.
But, we have a rowboat, but we don't have oars.
I've got oars.
Okay,
Oar locks?
yeah,
Yeah. Is it we have the EPOA boat as well. We could get that from my yard if you want.
yeah, like I said, we have the, Tony said he had them at home and he'd bring them in, but I'm just thinking down the line, at some point, I
We're
guess
gonna
I
need
think I
'em.
You're
mentioned
gonna
it.
have to have it there.
So I don't know, one day I could, on a rainy day, take the credit card, go down to Ward's Boat Shop and pick up a set or something, but
Yeah.
that's
For
another.
this one, we've got oars.
Okay, so we're covered for Thursday, so if we could do that Thursday, I mean, if Wood'a can't make it, I mean, like I said,
Well, we three can do it.
Tony will be in the backhoe to launch it, you and I out in the boat,
Yep.
and I'll help you anyway, hooking them up.
Pretty quick.
Right, okay, that sounds good.
What time do you want to?
Whatever works for you, we're in the shop at 6:00, 6 o'clock, ready to go by 6:30. So you wanna do it at 10 or something like that when it warms up a
Warms
little
I
up
bit?
was thinking
little.
it might be better to get
Yeah.
a little bit of warm.
Yeah, no, that's fine, so we'll figure 10 o'clock and
We shouldn't get wet, but you never know.
you don't know.
The pond water, well, unlike where you were, is not that bad. I've
No,
swam a few times. It's not
the
that cold.
water wasn't as bad, it was the air that,
Yeah.
you know, it wasn't a sunny day,
Right,
so
right.
as I'm soaking wet in my
Right,
clothes
and
and
the air is,
boots.
yes, it's cooling you off.
I didn't have a pair of shorts, so I wasn't planning on it. But that sends me into the next stage here, is that I met with Mike, the beaver guy, on Friday, and he'd gotten one. And I sent the bill into the office there, but he pulled out because it didn't seem like he wasn't finding any homes. And it just seemed odd that he couldn't like locate a lodge, an active one anyway. So of course, Murphy's Law, send them out, and we had the pipe unclogged for like a week, and they hadn't made any motion to dam it back up while he was here with his stuff. So he pulled out, and over the weekend they dammed it up 100% again. So that's why yesterday I was in there, Tony and I got our log back and we jammed it out and we unclogged it, but not 100%. So we had a couple other methods of pulling more stuff out, and we did that, and they were back last night. So
Yeah,
he's gonna come back in and see if he can't get a couple more.
He's gonna find a lodge.
He's gotta find the lodge, which he's a little baffled by because he doesn't know where they're coming from. He's been up and down. But he is a little concerned by setting some traps, people in their kayaks kinda getting too close to the traps. So I don't know, you might have to put some signage out there or something like
I
that.
wondered about that.
So I don't know where we are with that. How do you wanna, you know?
Is there any way we could put that grate back over the culvert, so it's more
We
difficult
could,
for
but they
people?
still come in and go do
They-
that anyway. They
The
go.
state required the grate to have 8-inch openings to allow fish to swim through it. That's big enough for,
Most beavers.
yeah, we have particularly smart beavers evidently that know how to hide on the trapper.
Yeah,
And know how to bring material through the 8-inch wide state specified openings and fill the inside of the culvert on the other side of this.
Right, or they just come in the other side too.
Yep.
I mean, you
Yeah.
know, you got the grate on the one side, but not on the other side.
They're too smart to bring things up against the current. They're
Right.
bringing it in through the, because you can see, they get caught, some of the stuff gets caught.
Oh, yeah. No, I've seen it.
wow.
So,
That's the beaver story.
Okay,
that's that.
that answers that.
So, you know, I'm gonna be talking to him a little later today, cause he's looking to come back in, but again, he's gonna have to set some more traps, and his
Yeah.
people just need to be vigilant of them traps. I mean, nobody wants to get caught in that, so the kayakers need to beware. So, it used to be the office bought paper towels and stuff for the shop. Sometimes the shop used to get them stuff themselves down at Lowe's or something like that. You know, we need some paper towels in the shop. I don't know how we want to go about it. If I get the Lowe's card or credit card, go down there myself and get it, or it's. I mean, also in the past, the office like we're buying it from Walmart and it was getting delivered or something like that too. You know, I don't know where you guys want. What you're gonna do
Are they
about.
specific, a certain kind of paper towels? Are they
No,
shop
we just usually
towels
get like,
and-
no, we just usually get like a regular
paper
big
towels?
bunch of paper towels. We're okay with the toilet paper at this point, but the paper towels are running low. So I didn't know how you guys wanna do that.
Cleaning supplies, just,
We have some upstairs if you wanna grab some.
Okay,
Paper
I mean,
towels.
like I say, we got a roll or so left, but.
Yeah,
How'd you used
no,
to do it?
we've got plenty upstairs.
Remember how you used to do it? What's the easiest between you two?
Yeah,
Just buy them independently as you need them?
It doesn't matter. I guess I should just be vigilant when I'm ordering to ask you,
Right,
right? But I get bulk, like a big package.
right, that's how we always got it
Yeah.
too, like, I mean Nancy at some point went to the store herself and bought it for us and she threw it
Right.
over the fence.
I
You
remember
know,
that.
Caitlin the last couple times was like getting it online, they were delivering it to the door.
Yeah,
Like I said, I didn't know
Yeah.
what route we were gonna go
You
moving
need
forward.
them now.
We're gonna need them soon, so.
Okay.
I looked at Silver Lake, but they had like the cheapest, just one roll at a time type of thing.
No.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
feel
you
like
don't-
wasting the
yeah.
money
You
at
can
this
grab
point.
5
So
rolls
if
from
you've got a few
upstairs.
rolls upstairs
Yeah.
for now, you
Yeah.
order us up a
Okay.
bundle
Yeah,
So you two work it out.
to get by.
Okay.
Um,
But it sounds like Jen's gonna order for both entities.
Okay, cause
Going
that'll roll
forward.
me into my next one here, is I'd rather not buy that bag patch from Lowe's that we got that one time, because I found it more economical and a better product.
Talk
I
about
get-
asphalt patch.
Yes.
I'm glad you're talking about this.
Getting that from Burke, because there's some potholes
I
out
agree.
there
Very
that
good.
need to be addressed.
Do you know about these? Have you
Which
watched these?
which potholes where?
Well, there's
The
one on
entrance?
Appenvale Way heading up, there's a bit of a, just past Jungfrau, the entrance of Idlewise, I mean, there's a few out there.
Across, the entrance to Idlewise going past the bus stop, between the bus stop and DPW two.
Yeah,
The south shoulder
yeah,
could use a lot of it.
yeah.
So how much you want?
Well, I'd get a ton from Burke like I did the last time.
Make a motion, we buy a ton of, what's he call it?
Coal
Coal
What
patch.
you call it, coal patch?
Coal
cold.
patch?
Cold,
Cold.
yeah.
As opposed to hot
Um,
coal patch.
Yeah, so, cause this time of year when it's warm, if I don't use it all, I could store it right there at the salt
think you can
shed.
use it all.
Like I did when we got it in the winter.
I
I
think you're
used
gonna
it
use it
all.
all, and-
Oh, you think we'll use it
Yeah,
all?
Idlewise Drive is gonna take a lot of it.
It is, but like I said, this time of year, that the product that they have, I could leave it in a hump
And-
right there, and
Yeah.
I work it a little bit, and it gets reusable. That's the beauty of that, getting it that way, because
A
the
second.
bag stuff was terrible.
A second on the motion,
Second.
by a ton.
Okay.
Nancy, second, any discussion?
Just, what's the going price for a ton of that stuff?
Like I said, we bought it back. I don't know if it was February or something. I think it was like 150.
Yeah, I remember.
And when
you
I
were
bought the
talking
10
about-
bags, it was like $200.
Yeah.
So it was definitely.
It doesn't last as long.
And it doesn't
Right.
last, and it wasn't as much. So I don't want to buy it that way.
Yeah.
With the bags, I'd rather
Yeah.
get the ton of it. And
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
like I said, I
Okay.
think 150 was around the price.
That sounds like a bargain, okay.
Can you vote?
Aye.
3-0?
Aye.
3-0? 3-0.
So, this guy on Appenvale Way put some mulch down his edge of his
I saw that.
property.
Black mulch right into the ditch line.
Right in the ditch line. So, I don't know how
He
you,
will learn.
yes.
You don't have to do any labor, we don't have to contact him, we just need a good rain to show him that he shouldn't do
Well,
it.
it's gonna run right in the road.
Yeah,
It's gonna run across his driveway.
Yeah,
It's gonna make a mess in front of his house, the exact opposite of what he wanted to do because he wasn't too smart about where he ended it.
yeah.
Which
So-
house is this on Appenvale?
This is next to the new construction where the circular driveway's going in.
Okay.
Well, that's not gonna be a circular driveway.
You wanna talk about that?
That's a circular drive. I talked to him. He added that second drive just for the
Construction?
the boxes coming in.
Oh,
Is that
And
the
the
one with the
crane coming
prefab?
in. Yes.
Okay.
Going in?
Yeah.
Prefab
He's
mounted?
gonna take it out?
He's gonna take that out. That's what he told me.
Which one's he taking out?
I
Because
believe the lower one.
good, because that's the one that's too close to the pin.
Yes.
Or on the closer side of the pin.
Yes.
I think.
I believe it's the one headed towards Lugano.
it looks like the upper hill, the one on the right as you're facing it, is closer to where the property line is, but there's no pin there to tell you, it's just where the cut shows you
Right.
they cut.
Yeah, he was saying something about the logger, messed
I
up
thought
the
he built it
property
so they could
lines.
install that manufactured house.
That's why they put that in there, because the crane's gonna need to set up on something, that's why it was so rugged. But he said that's coming out,
That answers that.
yeah.
Do you have that application? Have you seen that in your travels?
There's one, I think, on
Appenville?
Appenvale. I'll have to double check.
Because I'd like to see that. We were looking at that last week, we went around, did a bunch of them.
Well,
And
he called me all upset about how the box got laid out in the parking lot there, and they didn't do what he had said, and, they were supposed to pile them all up in there, and the guys just dropped it there and left it on him, so he was all worried how, we were
up
gonna
at his
react.
property?
in
Huh?
both places.
No,
He
up
left
in
it
the
in the
In the
mailbox.
whole
Yes.
parking lot, it wasn't neatly stored
At
in the
all.
corner. It
Right.
was like left out.
Yes.
And
Right.
so he's a good kid, and he's working hard trying to do the right thing
I
over
think it's
there.
all supposed to be moved today, isn't it?
I think they're doing the 19th, they're placing them, the crane's
There was
coming.
no one there this morning when Hank walked by to do his inspection.
Yeah. No, the 19th, I believe that he told me they're
Oh,
setting
really?
those.
Okay.
So it'll be there till, what, middle of next week. So that's that one. So that's good there.
FEMA,
FEMA. I got a few things done last week with that. I'm making progress. I got it broken down to what we did last year as far as the pipes digging, and what we need to do this year is the ditching. So I've got that segregated.
so do you have info of how many culverts got cleaned last year? How many ditches, the length of ditches?
Well, there really wasn't much or any ditching going on last year,
right.
so that's all proposed.
Right,
But the
okay.
pipes, I mean, again, I got all the roads listed. I don't have individual pipes and all that. I
So
mean,
here's the problem is that FEMA wants every pipe that they cleaned last year, and they did a lot of pipe cleaning.
A lot of
Not
pipe
ditching, not the ditching of the sides of the roads, but cleaning out of the drainage pipes. And they want the GPS coordinates of each pipe. They want the diameter of the pipe and the length of the pipe. And you don't have all that information. You just-
I have most of the diameters of the pipes. I wasn't putting the lengths at that point, but I do have all the pipes and the diameters.
Do we have enough to have a FEMA meeting this week and tell them how far we did get in 2 weeks,
I mean, I'm still not where they want it
right?
100%.
I think we need to ask them, the village purchased some number of GPS devices, low-cost ones, Nancy?
Yes,
And have they all gone into the ether? They're not in the office.
there is one backpack in the office that could still have one. Not sure where the other two went.
There were 3 of them.
Yes, there were 3
There's
of them.
one in the truck, a little Garmin thing.
Oh,
Yeah, okay.
I've never used it, but I mean, I don't know what's on it.
let's dig it out, take a look at it, see if
Okay, I'll give it to you.
we can use that. And so here's the thing is that they want every culvert that these guys cleaned last year. They want the diameter, they want the length of it under the road,
Yep.
and they want the GPS coordinates of them, each one of them. And then we have to assign to that man hours and equipment hours
Yeah,
for last year.
right. I
Then they
mean,
wanted us to forecast what we're gonna do this year as part of the continuing cleanup of the storm. And we didn't meet with them last week because they kinda changed what it was that we were working on. And I couldn't estimate how long it was gonna take Jeff to get all this information. But if he's got all the culverts, he had them by street address, what house was it near? And they don't want that, they want the GPS coordinates. And I have a feeling they're never gonna look at all this stuff, but it's their regulations that we have to provide this for them to give us 75% reimbursement. So we have to do all this work on the hopes that they actually approve the reimbursement, which is killing me because there's so many other important things that we can be working on that we're betting on the come, as they would say, at Suffolk Downs.
Yeah, well, we gotta find out if these GPS units actually work. And then if they don't, can't you get a good GPS from just a smartphone? Plot a position? I don't know.
Probably. I mean, there's an app you could get that, you know, but I don't, you know, my phone
Yeah,
is a flip
he
phone.
and I have flip phones, so we don't do GPS.
Well, yeah, but how many culverts are we talking about?
Well, we did every one on Idlewild Drive.
So give me a number.
Okay.
About, I mean, ballpark, you don't have
25, 30.
25, 30? Okay,
That's one road.
Yeah,
that's on the road.
yeah.
And I mean, and I did estimate like time and man hours and the equipment we used. I mean, I got all that information. I didn't do the length of the pipes. But I did, like I said, I did do every pipe. I haven't gotten every road yet. I've gotten almost, I'd have to do more on the right side, like Adelbowden and Bristol side. I didn't get those. But I got everything on the left side except for Little Shore done right now.
So I'm curious, if there's, let's just say there is 25 culverts on Idlewice Drive, do you have a system, do you number them? So like maybe the first culvert you arrive at coming off of Route 113 and then all the way to the Idlewice property line with Madison?
They've been numbered in the past and staked.
Right.
And half them stakes are broken and gone and all that.
Well, I don't mean physically
No,
numbered.
right.
On a map
But they
purpose, so
were.
you know.
But they were
physically
all
They were
done
physically
and
numbered.
GPS coordinated at one point supposedly. But no, what I didn't number them or assign them a number. I started right at up 113 at Idlewice Drive, and I looked and I measured the opening of every, what type of pipe it was, metal, plastic, and 18-inch, 20-inch, whatever, and then I moved on. And then all the driveway pipes, I marked them with the number of the driveways.
Right.
So that's number 2, say, over there at Idlewice, and he's got a 15-inch pipe. Now what like I said, how long it is, I don't know. I could measure, I gotta go back and measure them all that way.
Okay, well now I'm gonna ask a real stupid question. The
There's
key
no
thing you
stupid
said,
question.
what you said was, at one point they were staked and GPS plotted. Okay, the stakes are gone for weather and plowing and all that.
Sure.
But is there a record of those GPS points somewhere?
Never
would
that I've
cut down on
seen.
our work if it still exists.
Right, never that I've seen. If there's something in the office, I don't know.
Not only that, as he said, the stakes in a lot of locations are gone. So the reference to whatever is
GPS
in the
isn't there
database is
either.
broken.
Yeah.
So.
But I've never seen that
idea of
work.
putting those stakes in the ground was an awful idea, I
Right.
thought from the very beginning.
Right, but
They were
if,
so
if-
proud of
if-
themselves,
if-
it was stupid.
It was stupid, but if you come across the first culvert on just a visual inspection, and you make sure you don't miss any all the way length of Idlewice Drive until you hit the border, and that's 25, we can get GPS coordinates for that, and we keep that forever.
Right, that's what I was kind of getting at is, what I was doing seemed a little, not more than what FEMA was asking for, but again, maybe it's a little less because I didn't get the length of the pipes either.
But here's the thing, there's an average length of these pipes by the width of the road.
Right,
And the only variance is ran at a diagonal.
Right.
None of these pipes are at a huge diagonal that,
not a lot of them.
we could average out the length of these pipe, they all.
Right, the road's
traverse
22 feet, you got, another
Yes.
5 feet on each side, so you're talking 30 feet, 35 feet.
I think they average 30 feet.
Right,
And I think that it's reasonable to say these all average 30 feet.
right,
No, we're not going back and measuring them.
right.
Yeah.
Now,
We'll
some of
tell
the,
we'll tell them that Thursday, that's what
Right.
we're gonna say to them.
right, so,
And if-
we've got and I did kind of write up a summary of both things. Again, it's not probably as much detailed as it could be, but it's something. On what we did last year was the cleaning of the pipes and how much material was taken out and how much man hours
Right,
and
you
stuff
can
like
use
that.
that
And
as
I
a
got a
template.
summary of what we're gonna do
Right.
this year with that type of stuff as well. The
Yeah.
machinery we gotta use, the man hours and that. So we've got progress from
Yes.
the last
So we'll
meeting,
definitely meet with them tomorrow, we'll
Okay.
discuss all this.
Thursday,
I think that's enough for now. We'll,
for them.
next week we'll report what FEMA says back, yes.
Quick point, that data that Horizons Engineering compiled included a spreadsheet on culverts. So I think I have a copy of that, and I can dig it out and send it to you.
Boy, that'd be great.
I don't know if it's useful or not, I don't
Right.
recall what's in it.
Whatever we have may be usable, may not be, we don't know, because no one in here has done it or put eyes on it, But, so the FEMA's meeting at
Did they put it
11.
on the maps? Did they put the culverts in the maps?
I don't think so.
So it's just data?
It's data,
Yeah, it's worth just taking a quick look at.
yeah.
And the water system paid for culvert data?
They had all kinds of stuff, length of roads and all sorts of stuff.
Well, yeah, so that should be in the office, but if you can locate it easier,
Yeah.
send it, that'd be good. Take a look at that before Thursday,
Yeah,
if that's possible.
so we might wanna push Doug back to the docks until noon time or something, cause I might be in that FEMA meeting until
That'd be
then.
better for me.
Okay, so we'll
Be
look,
even warmer.
yeah, so we'll look at 12:30 for that. I'll shoot you a call once I'm done with that.
Okay.
You two will
Okay.
be ready to jump in the water.
Right, I'll need a good soaking. So here we go, we're rolling along here.
One quick thought on, you mentioned mulch. Are you aware of the DOT, New Hampshire DOT erosion control mix?
For,
For mulching a steep slope, for example? I used 40,000 pounds on my property and the stuff works.
What are we talking about?
the erosion stone?
You mentioned mulch that failed up there. And I'm just
No, this is a
No,
homeowner that
this is
put
a homeowner.
gardening mulch right
bark
down into the
mulch.
ditches. This was not to be
Yeah.
erosion control. This was a
No.
mistake by the homeowner.
Yeah.
This was
You can
aesthetics.
I'll let you know what.
Yeah,
Okay,
The stuff's amazing.
yeah, so, I know Ian put that water hook up on Idlewise Drive, I'm not sure the number there last week. 49, no, 50.
I thought it was
50,
53 or
50,
something.
yeah,
like that.
that's more like it, yeah.
53.
53.
When they did the initial site work over there, that pipe, there's a pipe right there where, right, you know, culvert
Culvert
pipe.
pipe.
And that's kinda near where they put the connection as well, which is fine, I got no problem. Ian did a good job, you know, a great job there. But they took the header off that pipe, not Ian, but the site guys back in the original site work. And if you notice, that kinda juts out a little bit into the road, like off on the shoulder there. So I don't know if they're planning on putting that header back on, they even have the header, or where the header went, you know, they were just probably just rocks. They got a pile of rocks sitting over there, I don't know what's gonna happen with that. But it does seem a little dangerous going
Yes.
by there, my opinion.
okay, so let's see. So we need to contact the homeowner.
On that one, because I don't know,
I'll make a motion, we contact the homeowner of 57, we
I
say?
think it was
53.
53.
53. Of the recently
right,
water hookup
That's
connected
the
house.
large three-story one that we looked at.
Yes.
last week?
yeah.
Yes. And say we need a stone header replaced on the culvert in front of their property that was there when they began construction.
Second.
Alright,
3-0? 3-0 on that.
And then I know I talked with HP Fairfield, they called me last week about the blower again. I don't know, again, what we wanna move with that. John Deere told me that they have to come up and take a look at it before they can tell me what kind of valve they need to put in to make that run properly. He says it could be a multiple different type of valve. I can't get a straight price out of John Deere, what it's gonna cost after they fix the blower to make the blower work for the backup.
They need the blower fixed first, and then they can tell you, or they just can't tell you?
Yeah, they just, I mean, I just think they can't tell me whether the blower's fixed or
They have
not.
to come here and see
They
it,
have to come here and see the machine and the,
and they wanna charge us to come and look at it.
Of course.
right.
can't we just send them pictures?
That
Which is-
bothers you.
Well, it does, and it bothers me too, but I mean, I do have to get them here to do some other work anyway.
Okay,
So again, I just don't know whether we wanna move forward with that blower
so
or
we're gonna
not.
spend
About $2,500
and
on
not
it.
know whether we can hook it to the John Deere or not.
Oh, it should go to it. It's just a matter of them putting a valve in that's gonna
So
reduce
there's
the
no doubt that
pressure.
they're gonna figure out how to do it. So the motion is that we approve spending $2,400 to have the blower fixed.
Second.
Discussion.
Okay, our blower, so the question is the blower doesn't work, or it's a question of being able to hook it up to the John Deere?
The blower is blowing its motor, the seals and the motor and all
Okay.
that are done. So, yes, it hasn't been properly,
The 2,400 fixes the
Maintained.
blower. It doesn't get it hooked to the John Deere. That's gonna be an additional charge that we can't
right,
get
it's
a
gonna
quote
be
on
another
yet.
pressure reduced valve or something like that that needs to be installed on the John Deere backhoe to make this blower run on the backhoe properly. So this seal motor doesn't blow on that anymore.
And they have to physically come to view
And they
that.
have to come to make sure that they put the right setup in.
And they're coming anyway.
we're gonna need them to come at some point anyway.
But they're coming anyway for something else, right?
Yeah, some
So why not
maintenance.
just combine?
That's what
Yep.
I'd like to do.
Right, that's the only thing that makes sense.
Right, no sense charging them to come back and
So the
forth.
motion on the floor is to approve just fixing the blower.
Right,
Nothing to do with John Deere yet.
Right,
right. Get the blower back up in working order because it's toast right now.
Further discussion?
No?
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. The blower gets fixed.
and this is fixed by whom?
HP Fairfield. And yeah, we're gonna try to dig some of those rocks up on East Bergamo, lay a little gravel in the holes and see if we can't smooth that out a little bit up in there.
Did you see that culvert yet? That
Yes,
goes in? There's another driveway permit that goes into Dorfly. I don't know if you've ever you had no reason to ever go down that road.
well, we went down it the other day, I said, oh, let's go down here and see where that pipe is
Oh,
Mark
for
was
that lot
talking about.
that lot that's been cleared out, right at corner of Dorfly in East Bergamo?
No, this is way down.
This is way down.
Way
I
down.
thought
Down
we
near
were
the
out of
house.
Idleways. I
It's
thought we
almost
were
like
in
a
North Conway.
cul-de-sac down past that house, is that where it's gonna be?
It's the new
Even
driveway
further than that.
permit is past the only existing house on that Class 6 road,
Yeah,
and it's way down in the woods.
That's part of Idlewild still?
Uh-huh.
yeah,
And
it's a
Idleways
class six.
bought a lot of the land, owns a lot of those lots, and the idea of stopping all development in that area. Then another board came along and didn't keep that idea, so now there's houses popping up.
Yeah.
But we don't maintain the road, it's a Class 6 road. There is a sign that says that it's a private road, and that's not true. We own the road. We just don't maintain it, and they have to sign agreements that we don't maintain it, and they may not get rescue services by building way out there, but they like it.
Do you know how many houses they're trying to build out there?
One right now.
Okay, just one. 'Cause there's a nice trail there, but then that goes up onto private property. I met the guy who owns it. He's okay if he just...
Nordell?
No, Nordell has his property fenced off. There's another guy who lives in, must be Conway. He's up toward Tasker Hill, but he owns
Right.
a lot of that land back.
Okay, so back to pulling the rocks out of the road and
Yeah,
where we start.
The pink painted rocks on
yes.
East Bergamo?
Yeah, yeah, so we were thought of maybe, yeah, there's a few potholes on Idlewild Drive we wanna address. That's a couple on Apron Vale there when you first come off the pavement.
And we already bought gravel for that?
We still have that gravel that I
Okay.
got the last time.
Good.
So yeah, we're gonna do that today. And as far as gravel, now that we got the big trucks back with the sticker, all set, ready to go from all the
Progress.
service. I don't know, I mean, am I able to haul some as I need with our own truck at this point without asking for some? I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna go getting 50 loads of gravel in the next week or two, but, you know, I don't know how you guys are.
I think we're in a mode that we're gonna patch with the backhoe until the grader comes back.
Right.
And you have an expectation on when the grader might come back?
About 3 weeks, maybe. He said
So,
about 2 or 3 weeks, they'll
3
probably
weeks from now will
have it.
get us into the second week in July. So you need to be able to buy gravel. Do you wanna stockpile gravel for that period of time, for a 5-week period?
Yeah, I could bring some in.
How many truckloads are you talking about?
I mean, I don't know really. I mean, how many? I mean, if I'm driving for, like, let's say Tony's off on Friday.
How much room do you have
Oh, we've got plenty of room up there.
to bring in 2 trucks at a time? 3 trucks? 3 trucks built up?
Oh, I mean, I could bring in 20 loads, 30 loads with our truck, no problem, easy. Not that I need to go getting that many at this
I was
point,
just
you know
gonna
what I
say.
mean? You know, I like I said, but I mean, if I go and I have
Crazy
to,
people.
if I gotta go and get 5, 6, 10 loads or something like that.
Make a motion, we approve the purchase of 10 loads, 10 triaxles of 3/4 inch.
Well, no, it'd be our truck.
It's our truck.
It'd just be our truck, that's what I'm saying,
So
we're not
not
gonna pay the
truck.
trucking fee
So
at
your
this
size
point.
truck.
That's what I'm saying, just be our truck, if
10
I come
loads
and
of-
go as I need some gravel at this
10
point.
loads of the 7,400 picking up gravel.
Second.
Aye.
Okay.
3-0?
Aye.
3-0 on 10, 7,400 loads.
And the gravel will be used in what were the hot spots that,
Well, yeah, I mean, it'd be all over the district, I mean, wherever there's some potholes that are kind of bad at this point that we could kind of drag back.
And there's
I know
not-
Middle Shore needs some work over at a couple spots, down by that new modular, and, there's just a couple spots all over.
Appleton Way, Adelboden,
Yeah,
East Bergamo, Upper Lakeview, that's
West
potholes.
Bergamo, Upper
Every
Lakeview.
gravel road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We were, you do have
I'm
a-
good, that's
Okay.
where I'm gonna end what I needed to say.
We went around and did a bunch of driveways, and one of them was on Presidential View.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of things about Presidential View. The first thing is signs. When you are coming up Oak Ridge Road and you're past the S-turns and you're on the first straight, and you come to the intersection where Presidential View goes off to the left,
Yeah,
and Oak Ridge Road continues to curve to the right, there's no signage at all
nothing,
to say where you are.
right,
And,
that guy's
so
been
that
asking.
needs a Presidential View sign to go to the left, and it needs an Oak Ridge Road sign to let you know to go to the right. I thought that Paul Cavallo? Yeah,
Yeah, about the clubhouse?
yes. That Paul C. just needed a sign to say that
Yeah.
Oak Ridge Road continued from the intersection
Right,
of
to the
where
right.
Presidential View comes back up, round uphill and meets back up into Oak Ridge Road. That Oak Ridge Road actually continues to the summit. There's nothing there to tell you
Right,
that that's, even if you drive up that way, it doesn't look like a road, it looks like a parking lot, because it is, it's a cul-de-sac.
right,
But you don't know that his house is out of view
Oh,
down off the edge. So anyway, I sent him a picture of a sign that he could have made for under $10 that says Oak Ridge Road, 100 Oak Ridge Road, his house,
Oh.
with an arrow pointing this way,
yeah,
that he could put when you come into the T intersection of Oak Ridge Road and Presidential View.
so you talking right at the entrance of the lodge,
The
where you would go
antenna
in?
tower is right there.
Right,
At that intersection where you have to take the right to go to the summit. There's nothing there. There's an old sign that you can barely read that says Clausen with an arrow pointing
right,
down.
pointing down,
Clausen is not that road, it's down a couple hundred feet.
right.
And it does say Presidential View
So you're talking right at the entrance there, going into the lodge.
into
Not
the,
where you just come up Oak and you got Presidential to your left and Oak Ridge stays to the right. So no
So we
sign
don't-
there at this point.
we don't need any signage, he may buy his own sign. And we do need signage at the intersection that you first get to where Presidential View starts
Right,
and Oak Ridge Road continues to the right. So, what do we need to stop buying signs? These do not have to be the big green reflective signs that have to be on the state highway. I'm looking at, I don't know, we need a bunch of signs.
we do.
And
how are you putting the signs in? Are you putting poles in?
I don't like poles because I could show you a bunch of poles that
That got
are
wrecked?
completely gone.
Yeah,
If not gone, they get pushed over by the backhoe or the wind plows cleaning intersections during snowstorms. And it's not so easy to straighten them out. There's a lot of them still bent over.
So what do we do, mount them on trees, what do they have?
I think so. The signs that are on trees have been there since, some of them have been there since the 60s. It's hard to knock a sign off a tree.
So we gotta look to make sure that there's a tree there you could put it
in the
on.
proper
But-
spot, yeah.
If there's no good tree system, and I can't say that I saw a good tree system at the intersection that needs the signs, because that's actually a safety problem. There's houses, you can't find houses in an emergency if you don't have signs at critical intersections like
Right.
that.
Yeah,
So even a temporary solution. So, I have ordered signs from an online company that are very low cost. I ordered one for Big Loop. I don't think we should be investing in expensive signs for Big Loop. Big Loop
Keep
intersection
taking
is
them
the
for some
same
reason.
as High Street in Madison, which for my 47 years here, High Street has not been able to keep a sign at their intersection. And they have done elaborate things. Some of them have been made out of granite. It's been such a problem to keep a sign on High Street in Madison because of the name of the street, evidently. And Big Loop, I don't know what the attraction is, but people want the Big Loop sign. Even the temporary sign that I think Larry put up on
Yeah,
the
somebody
tree.
made out of
Is
wood.
It
gone.
was,
They took
they
that.
took
Yep.
that sign. So, I don't think the village should be buying expensive signs.
Yeah,
Madison
no.
has figured out to stop buying expensive signs for High Street. I don't even know if this is, this sign at High Street right now. But anyway, so I will come back next week with a price, and I'll make a motion that we buy 2 low-cost signs, and I'll look to see if we can mount them to trees or whether they have to be put on poles for Presidential View,
In Oak Ridge?
Oak Ridge, and Big Loop.
So that's 3 signs.
3 signs.
And that one on Salines got
Yeah.
taken, I don't know if that's something, Salines and Bristol stock.
There's the wooden sign. I want to put a screw in that
That's still
straight.
there.
I keep straightening that out with a stick that I have next to that sign, but it keeps flopping back down. I'm gonna get up there with a ladder and a screw gun and screw that.
Oh, we could take care of that.
But we do need,
So that's just, you wanna put a screw in that wooden sign there?
Yeah.
To straighten it out?
yeah,
Okay.
and then I'll come up with a 4th sign proposal for Bristol Stock, because it needs one to say Bristol Stock goes up to the dead end. So I'll come back next week with a proposal for 4 signs and see whether you, I'll have to give you some kind of way. I'll send you pictures of what they look like with the dimensions through the office before next week.
And I do have a couple of posts at the shop, but I don't have any of that hardware, that the
The
regular
rock
street
sign?
signs. You know, I do have a couple of long posts, but I don't have any of that hardware anymore.
Like wooden posts?
No,
No,
they're
no,
the
metal.
metal regular
Oh, yeah.
street sign
They call them
posts.
U.
Yeah, they get that set up
They're bent into a shape of a
Um,
U, as opposed to an L.
in case they had to go that route. But again, the hardware, I don't know where you get that, that's something that,
We used to order it from the same place where we got the
the
signs.
posts and the signs and
And the
everything,
posts,
right.
yep.
So I know there's a thing in the office for
Yep.
all that, you know, the connection, the contact for that, but.
So, another thing about Presidential View, there is a application for a driveway on Presidential View. It took us a while to figure out where it was, because there was no stakes in the ground. But it is down near Carol Rosenblitz's house, which is the only house on Presidential View that's on the downhill side, down near the intersection of Clausen. It's the one that has a glass room
the
that has a
pool.
swimming pool in it, right?
The atrium room.
Yes. Across the road from that is a clear lot,
Yep.
and
Cleared that
that's where
out.
the application was.
Okay.
Standing down there and looking back at the house on the other side of the road that had some problem with the drainage in front of it, it looks like it's lower pitched than where that is. I think standing where the drainage problem was in front of that redwood house that's set
Yeah.
up on the hill, makes it look like it's in the bowl. But that whole bowl looks like it's uphill from where this driveway is going in, which is also gonna have a drainage problem. So now, I'd like you and Tony to go down to where this proposed driveway is going in, and look back up the road and see that this whole thing has to be ditched for this
It
new
does.
driveway going in. Because we don't want to say you don't need a culvert, and then realize we really needed to ditch that. And if you look across the road, it's a perfect place to run a pipe across the road to drain the whole ditch downhill.
Over by the intersection.
If you face in the swimming pool house, to the right of the swimming pool house
Right.
is a
That's-
natural ravine that
Right.
goes downhill. That's the place for the water to drain off the uphill side of all
Right,
of it.
so that, the pipe would go somewhere after that house
Yes.
and drop it before the intersection and down into the thing.
So maybe we have to all get up there and look at this,
Yeah.
because this is becoming a bigger project. Because it would be a shame to fix the drainage problem in front of the Redwood house that complained about it earlier in the year.
That washes right off that driveway.
I know.
That too.
And then not be able to properly install this new driveway.
Right.
It's like, the pitch is bigger now already, let's
Yeah.
do that, so.
No, I see what you're talking about. I can vision that.
So if you guys are up there by chance before we all get together, you can look at it and get some idea.
Yeah.
I don't know when we can all get up there and look at it,
But no, that definitely needs some big time ditching up there.
that
The
whole
whole
thing.
circle.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is, and it's on presidential?
this
Yes.
is all presidential view.
Pretty short on house numbers up in that area.
Right.
It took us a while
The
to
numbers
figure
are weird.
out what
That-
we were.
Lock
Like,
and cut
wait
a
a
long
minute.
time ago.
Jeez.
That's the lot we're looking at.
Wow.
You know, I mean, it was very difficult.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
There's a
that
couple of
you know,
instances where the
measuring back from
application's
prior-
house number didn't match what even the house numbers on the house itself said.
Yes,
It's like,
yes, that one was interesting.
How does that happen?
I don't know. The application
That was up
is
on
for
Wakefield.
number 6 and
They thought it was gonna be
sign.
when you look at the sign in front,
number
Yeah.
10.
it says number 10.
Wow.
I was like,
Yeah.
Where's 8? Where's
yeah.
6? The application says 6.
Wow.
It's not even
But the-
one house number off, it's 2 houses number.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I got one more quick thing, is the stakes for the porta potties. You saw I put those out?
Yes.
Even the one on Thusis,
yep,
it's kind of, it was a different spot than it was last year, because I thought that they could tuck it in that spot there this year, and then you could still make the loop
the
around.
porta potty company wrote back saying they loved what we sent them.
Okay,
We sent them pictures of where the stakes are. We sent them a map of where the beaches are.
yeah,
We sent them the street addresses off of the big green signs at each of the beaches that emergency services uses to
Right.
find the location. So she got instructions of where the closest house is to the beach, then a picture of where the porta potty's going, with a picture of the stake
yeah.
of exactly where porta potty goes. So she was saying,
Okay.
this is great.
That was the only difference, and it's not quite as visible as the rest, because it's kind of on the horseshoe.
I wrote that it's in the middle of the circle.
Yeah, okay,
And there's a picture of it, so they know
Right.
there's no beach in the background scene like the other ones have.
right, right.
So was another thing about that is that's been stepped up. They're coming Wednesday or Thursday.
They haven't verified
Confirmed that
yet,
yet?
but we've
Oh,
asked
okay,
them.
so they're on their
So
way.
those are coming this week.
Okay, I meant to mention them last week and I forgot, and then, because I thought of it, so.
So it looks like if Thursday goes good for you guys, the rafts will be in, and the porta potties are all on the beach, so we're ready for the sharks.
And here's summer, so the next
Right.
thing is no dogs walking on the beach.
Right?
Time to stop the old rover roaming the beaches.
They walk right in front of the signs with the.
Oh, they do, you know it, I know it, and
No.
just gonna throw that out there, that now that the time of year has come where the people are gonna take back the beaches, and
Yep.
it's gonna go that way, so.
All right.
Mark, two quick questions for Jeff. Raft ladder, sorry.
Yes.
I'm in trouble with my words.
Yeah, it's okay. Yes, we did address that. We got some nice stainless steel.
Oh, good. Okay, perfect.
We'll go with bolts and nuts and go that route. We did that yesterday. We measured them all out and bought those.
Great.
So you'll see the bill from Silver Lake.
Okay,
And,
alright,
The
And another one.
EPOA, meet your DPW, Carrie asked about the painted plow, is that?
Yep, when we get the grader back, we'll get that organized, because they wanted to have the grader there as well. So I'm gonna talk with Alan, because that plow's over there, to get some stuff tightened up on that. And we'll see if he can't move that along a little further, so that'd be the plow we wanted to paint.
Okay,
So, yeah, we'll get that
I
rolling.
think she got how to do it from Madison.
Yeah, okay.
So she's got the right paint and all that.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna put a coat of primer on there and then
I
get
started
that ready to go.
It'll don't week.
Right, yeah. So, yeah,
Are you all set?
no, but, there was a calendar indication of Tony's annual review,
oh, that's right, I saw it on the agenda.
When's that coming up?
17th
the 17th.
Of June.
June.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be a non-public for the end of next week.
Is that something you guys wanna do the end of next week? I'll let him know.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
next week's meeting.
Perfect, okay. Sounds good.
We should actually have a non-public session before that.
For,
So
Is
would
it-
that be after next week's BOC meeting, or you
Yes.
thinking earlier?
okay,
So non-public session next week and the week after for the 17th? Or what day of the week? The 17th doesn't fall on a Tuesday, I think.
No, it's a
Yeah, it
Monday.
doesn't.
That's a
So,
week from yesterday. Does it have to be done right on the 17th, or can
No.
it be done on the 18th?
Can be done
Yeah, I
anytime.
think it can be done anytime, yeah.
Is he in that week?
Yes,
So if the 17th is a Wednesday, we could have a non-public session at the end of the meeting next week, and then meet with him in the office for non-public session.
Okay,
17th
great.
is a Monday.
Monday, the 18th will be the
18th is
meeting.
our next BOC meeting.
Yeah.
right.
So,
So if we
So
do it,
we'll have a non-public with him at the office on the 19th, if that works for everybody.
yep,
We have to pick a time. 10?
didn't we say we're gonna have a non-public after next week's BOC?
Yes, you have to have
Yes.
one before you do his review in a non-public.
right.
Okay. All right, the 19th is fine.
I'm gonna make a motion, we take a 5-minute break, if we're done.
Yes.
Second,
Aye.
Okay,
3-0, we take a break.
okay.
Thank you.
Meeting break.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
So
I'll speak to you
Thursday,
Thursday, Doug.
DPW 2 at noon?
Yeah,
Okay,
that sounds good. Thank you.
great.
See ya.
Take care, Jim.
At 10:25, we'll go into scheduled appearances, which we have none. And we have the administrator's report at 10:25.
Okay, so, Woodard needs to pan together some dates,
Okay,
that I can provide to,
Steve Doyen,
did they give a window of when they wanted to
No.
come in? No?
they're
Not at
saying they're
all.
waiting on a few to come back from vacation.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, then I will,
They don't know that
I will
one.
email you a bunch of different dates, I will
great,
okay.
make myself available,
yeah.
or can be available.
Okay, the next is, Simply Water is requesting a purchase of that caustic soda, as soon as possible.
We're just gonna ask you how much it costs.
Well, I pulled some,
Do you know off the top of your head what it was? Back
last
when-
time it was like $2,500.
Make a
It's gonna say
motion that
three.
we approve the purchase of a delivery of caustic soda, sodium hydroxide.
Second,
Aye,
Okay, great.
3-0?
yep,
yes.
Okay, so I got notification yesterday afternoon later that they're updating the CCR.
Yeah, they
Um,
missed something, or there was something else that had to be
Yeah.
added?
Test
That
for
they-
lithium needs to be included.
Lithium,
Oh,
yeah, so it needs to be included.
okay,
And I didn't know if you guys reviewed it at all, but this is the point where we would, we would add in you know,
Yes.
anything else we wanted to, so I'm waiting for their updates. Then we can review if we need to add anything in there that we wanted to. As far as the report.
Do you want me to write something up based on the annual meeting's vote of what we're planning on doing with the water system to include in this?
Yes, and we should probably fix some of the beginning stuff that talks about last year's plan. So update it to this year's plan.
Okay,
And how does this get disseminated?
Yeah, that's the next question.
How does it get sent out?
Yeah,
Yeah, how,
We use a,
posted or?
we do a MailChimp blast. We post it on the bulletin boards and we post it on the website.
but we do not USPS mail it,
thank goodness.
We do not.
so there's no big expense, we get it out through electronic means
Okay,
and
that's-
physically
that's-
posting it in their village.
After
Right.
the last run through with the uranium thing, I was like, oh, please, not this again.
Right.
Yeah.
That answers your question?
Okay, so it's the MailChimp blast,
Yeah,
Yep,
which we have an account on, I guess?
yes.
we do.
Okay, so,
We do.
okay, and then, how is it posted on the board? The actual,
Bulletin board.
The bulletin board's the actual,
so the whole thing is laid out?
Yep.
So for them to read?
yeah, it's 2 or 3
Okay.
pages
No,
Yeah.
it's-
and you just lay it out so that
it's
everybody can read
It's 5 pages
it.
right now.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
5 pages.
kinda, yeah. And then, how, and it's done through
The
the
website.
website.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's everything for the administrator's report?
that's all I have.
So at 10:29, we go to old business, which is 11 Youngfrau draft letter.
You were working on that one.
Did I send it?
You sent a
Draft.
draft and wanted to wait until Woodard was back because he looked at it as well.
Yeah, I did see that on the table in the office last week when I stopped in to sign the next set of
You have it?
documents.
Yeah,
It looked good to me, but,
Yes, it looked good to me too.
yeah.
Okay. Do I see it again, or
Yeah,
yeah,
let me
this,
just
I've
look
got a
quick.
couple of copies here, so.
you've seen it?
Yes, yeah, it looked good.
When you first brought it up, I was
What?
struggling to remember whether I did it or not.
The draft, yeah,
You did.
There's so many things.
yeah, but you went back and forth on this during our last meeting with the ordinances, speaking to this draft you wrote.
Right.
So you were kept going back and forth whether or not you needed to rewrite sections
Right,
of this draft.
but no, I think it's okay.
Well, there's one section, so something, this paragraph just says me, there's a me there. Within 1 year of construction permit period, then it says me, so. I don't know if that was the start of a new sentence or right there.
Oh,
Some fragment.
Yeah, some fragment.
If you strike it out, it does, everything still makes sense.
So
right?
far, so, yep, yeah,
Yeah.
so far, so good.
All right, so how do you want to proceed with this?
So I'll make a motion that we insert the letterhead and the name and address,
Mm-hmm.
and then we sign it out in session and send it to the property owner.
okay. Second.
Okay, aye.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. Expired driveway construction permits.
This is what Nancy
Yeah, this,
submitted.
how many are there?
I think I have 6 or 7 of them right now, and there's many more.
Oh, boy.
So we're gonna make a motion to approve this draft as the standard letter we send out to owners of expired driveway permits.
Yes, there's 6 of them right now that we've already looked at.
And more to come.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I wanna,
All right,
I
so,
wanna have eyes on them
So I'll make
before
a
we
motion
send
that we
this letter.
approve this as the standard letter that we send to the people that have expired driveway permits.
okay.
Okay, just a couple,
It needs a second for discussion.
oh,
Second,
Nancy seconds for discussion,
Okay.
okay, what do,
the second paragraph, it says in with the driveway ordinance, I think in accordance with.
yes,
Okay, so we have to add that, in accordance with. Then no additional work may be done either on the property until, I ran out of ink, what does that say? Until,
till a permit for construction is approved.
fine, the permit may be renewed or extended upon receipt of notice for intent to renew.
Along with proof of the existence of the required bond.
Yeah, okay,
Because that's 2 different pieces.
yes,
And, you know, so for putting in the reminder that, yes, they have to keep their bond in place.
Should we say a new permit for construction is approved?
It says it may be renewed or extended.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't
okay.
say we do a new
A
one.
new one, all right.
okay. Then my name, again, spelling.
Oh, God, we keep doing it to you.
Oh, okay.
You keep making me someone else.
It's not just
Isn't it
me,
easy to have
buddy.
your name changed?
Yeah, you'd be better off. Good grief, yeah. All right, so that's the
N-I-V-E-N.
2 changes.
Oh,
Opposed to
okay.
N-E-I-V-I-N.
Okay.
So.
So she's getting a pile going. You're still working on the ones that we need to send. Is that what you said?
For
So I'll
right,
make a motion that we approve this with the amendments
Okay.
just made,
okay.
if you captured them all.
Mm-hmm.
How do you vote?
Aye.
Aye.
3-0?
And I'd like to do this, we could probably do this out of session. Once the letter's ready, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 that fall into this category that are ready to be looked at, that are ready to have that letter. And one of them is the one up on presidential that we were talking about.
So we'll sign them after Jen has a chance to insert the addresses into the standard letter for each of those 6?
Yes.
So that'll be, she needs a good amount.
Yeah, she needs some time for that.
How long is, when you initially get a permit for a
A year.
driveway? 1
It's
year?
good for 1 year.
Okay.
So had any of these properties had any type of construction done, or they applied for their permit and didn't do anything?
I think it's a combination. I think some have been done something and it wasn't done correctly
Okay,
and
then
others.
I'm
Most-
confused, because,
Most of these have not, like Dorfley, there's no real construction going up there. Upper Lakeview, there's no construction going on up there. Presidential, there's no, Grimsell, we looked at that one. So there's no actual construction for Claas. And the other one is Clausen.
Okay.
So there's
Alright.
no actual construction
Yep.
at these lots.
Yep.
But the driveway permits were put in for, and originally okayed for construction.
But nothing
But it was
happened.
well over a year ago, and there's been no construction at the property.
gotcha,
See, it gets tricky,
it does get tricky.
because the way the ordinance reads is, if you have a wooded lot, and you want to do the permanent access, which requires you cutting down trees, possibly stumping, you need a permit
need a
to do
permit.
that, because you're impacting the road by beginning to
Equipment.
access the lot.
Right,
Right,
So, is that construction? Yes.
it would have to be.
Have you completed construction according to your application? No.
No.
So, was construction started on Dorfly, as the example?
Well, yes.
Yes.
Yes, the driveway construction started.
Is it appear that the continuing construction is going on?
No.
Is it detective? No.
Okay, so, all right.
But they cut their way into the lot.
Right.
They stumped it, you can drive into the lot,
Yep.
Right,
you can bring equipment into the lot,
yep,
but they are nowhere near having constructed it according to what their application says the
Gotcha.
driveway looks like. So it's nowhere near being ready to get its final operation,
correct.
which has to be done within 1 year.
Yep.
So there are varying stages of all 6 of those
Yeah,
as to whether,
I would think there would be,
like the one on Presidential View and the one on Hotwell that we looked at, they haven't even begun to cut into the lot.
right?
Right.
But in some cases, I've seen where they've cut into the lot, they've cleared it, and has stayed that way for the past several years, there's been no
Yes.
further work. So in
Correct.
that case, they have to keep renewing
That's
every
right.
year.
Yes.
And then we looked at lots that got a modification permit, $75 for an existing driveway.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And we went there and they're already paved. They didn't get permission from the $75 modification application to pave it. They just paved it.
so they didn't pay the $75?
Oh, they
for
did.
They paid the
application?
75.
Oh, they did,
The village never, as far as our documents say, I believe, went out and said, okay, we looked at your application, we're giving you construction permission to pave this driveway.
Yeah, one of them was missing the construction. But the others, I think, had.
so it was missing a construction permit
Yes. Yeah, one of them completely.
altogether?
Yeah.
But then they got approval for paving?
No,
Oh,
No, like this one specific had, it was put in, it's on Blinden. We looked at it for the first time, there's nothing attached here. We did the initial look at, and as we looked at it, we realized it had already been paved.
so what are we doing about those ones?
I have them in my pile to okay them for operations.
Operations,
we looked at it and we didn't see how it was damaging the road. And the setbacks from the corners were already determined by the original location of the lot, so.
right,
Those, we decided that we're giving operation permits to if we saw a problem. One of the lots, we were seeing lots that is supposed to be 15 feet away from the
Yeah.
corner of the lot.
yeah,
And we're seeing that they're inches away from the
Yeah.
corner of the lot. Or one of them on Grimsel, we don't know where the corner of the lot is.
Yeah, we don't
It
know.
says we're supposed to have a certified plot plan with these applications so that we can see where these are. And I see very few certified plot plans, if any at all, in those 6. So we need to start doing permits the way the ordinance was written. And we need to decide how we're gonna go back and fix driveways that are damaging the roads. So the answer to your question is, there's no sweeping characterization about any driveway permit.
Yeah.
Every one of them is its unique
Yes,
case in
Yes.
finding out.
I'm sure it
I
is.
assume nothing.
some of them are as unique as the houses.
So that is expired driveway permits under old business.
Yep,
And now we're into commissioners' reports at
well, yeah, okay,
You all set?
yeah,
1042.
10:42.
okay,
A lot of the stuff that I have has already been covered, such as the fence post, the signs, FEMA, the potholes at the entrance, I was gonna point out. Primex. I wrote an email to the claims agent at Primex, and copied the office. Jennifer can forward that to you guys. Just kind of checking in with him to say, we have a claim for a bank cyber theft. And can you give us an update of where you are with that as far as reimbursing us for that? And also, we have a claim about missing and damaged property and equipment. And I said, I think at some point you would want us to list off what it is that we're claiming, you know, where are you with that case? So I'm basically pinging him, to use a phrase, to say, where are you with all this stuff? And I didn't hear back from him yet, so I'm not ignoring that, I'm trying to keep
No,
that
no, no,
going.
you gotta keep, with everybody, you gotta constantly, you know, squeaky wheel gets the grease.
FEMA, we talked about extensively. There was a to-do in Idlewild, mostly through social media, about a lot that there were people camping on and lighting large fires, and issues whether they were lowering values of property by the activities and the appearance of the lot and the way it was being used. And I went to the last Madison Planning Board meeting on a Wednesday night last week and waited to make a public comment, and they were gracious enough to go back and forth with questions about the subject for maybe 20 minutes, so it was pretty good. I wouldn't say they're open to the idea. The issue was there ever a phrase in the Madison zoning ordinances of the Idlewild zone? There is a zone within the Madison zoning ordinances. There's a village zone for this area of Madison. There's an Idlewild residential zone, which is the political boundaries of Idlewild.
Mm-hmm.
It's its own zone, and all of the Madison zoning ordinances apply to Idlewild. And then there are additional ordinances that apply just to Idlewild. And I believe, talking to people a few years ago about the fact that there was a sentence in there that said there's no camping in Idlewild. And I believe there were discussions about why that disappeared out of the zoning ordinances. The fact is, just putting the blinders on and going forward trying to get something done,
Mm-hmm.
there is nothing in the zoning ordinances right now that say
Right.
anything about camping. So I didn't see that the planning board was open to the idea of changing the zoning ordinances for just Idlewild in the Idlewild zone to put some restrictions on camping, like on a permanent basis, that you don't build a house, that you're using your lot as a campground for years, for the foreseeable future. And they were pushing to have Idlewild have its own ordinance against camping. And I'm confused by that, because I think the state requires you to have a whole system of putting ordinances in place for zoning, that the selectmen just can't decide to have their own zoning and not go through the planning board process and have a zoning board of appeals and follow all the state laws and regulations. So anyway, it came down to finding that I went to look at other towns around us and couldn't find much, didn't look a long way, came across Freedom. The town of Freedom has Article 12 in their zoning, which is fairly elaborate about allowing camping under what guidelines, even down to if you're having a family reunion, whether you can have tents on your property and for how long. So it's that specific, and I won't tell you what it all says. So it's a matter of, has the issue died in the minds of the Idlewild people, because the issue of the lot that raised the issue right now has resolved itself. And there are other lots where there are full-time Winnebagos,
Mm-hmm.
and they seem to be clustered together. And then there are houses that are being built that have no septic, no in-ground septic system, no water connection, no well, no power. And we have multiples of those happening. There's one that's already established on Upper Lakeview. It doesn't even have a driveway, so I don't know how it gets an occupancy permit without a driveway, because that's supposed to be part of the Madison regulations. there is a house on Class 6 Christian stock that has no water connection, no power, and I don't believe it has an in-ground septic system. And there's one being built on, that we did a driveway inspection on, 4 Class. You have to see this one.
Why?
It has six
Posts.
concrete sonotube footings, and it has a driveway application, and there's no ground for the driveway to be on. They're gonna fill in this drop that goes to this lot that slopes downhill, that there's 6 concrete sonotube footings. I don't know, they're gonna have a shack there, I guess, that has a
What?
view of the power lines,
Yeah.
and maybe,
And Madison's already been given a permit for this?
we didn't see a permit posted.
No,
All we got was a driveway application.
right?
And the thing I wanted to check with the ordinances before we did that one does our driveway ordinance say how far off the road you have to be able to get with your driveway? Because this driveway isn't gonna be too big, it's gonna be,
Should we maybe add to our driveway permit that we need to see a building permit through the town of Madison before we'll process the driveway permit?
No, other way.
the other way around.
Yeah.
We have to have the driveway before they can get the building permit.
Okay?
It has to be an operations permit.
Well,
Which
then
is
maybe-
another subject.
Well, then maybe part of our inspection on the driveway is that there really, at that point, there should be a construction permit, should there not be? Or one pending?
The way all the regulations are written now, you can own a lot in Idlewise, you can apply for a driveway permit. You should apply for a driveway permit before you start to cut access to it. You have to do it according to ordinances. You can build a completely finished driveway according to our regulations, and we can approve it for operation. And you don't have to have
Built a thing,
built anything.
right?
What we're talking about now is whether you get to camp on it.
Correct.
So, this could be one of the things that we could see whether, when we start to have our meetings with the residents about whether they wanna form committees of interest, that the whole issue of zoning. Another thing that came out in the meeting with the planning board was, they have a selectman's representative at the planning board, Mr. Price. And I asked a question about whether the zoning enforcement in Madison had enough resources to do zoning enforcement correctly, which is building permits and zoning enforcement, setbacks and so forth. And the selectman said the zoning enforcement is 1,000% overwhelmed, which didn't give me a lot of imagery of enforcement happening the way that they might want it to happen, or the way that it should happen. So, that always goes back to common sense. Why write regulations if you can't enforce it? Why write laws that you can't enforce? So, at that point, I didn't see a lot of momentum with the people in Idlewise going forward with the idea of implementing, and I didn't see a lot of openness on the Madison end through the planning board of wanting to institute ordinances. But the law allows you to institute ordinances that the planning board isn't in favor of through petition. So, that's where I'm at.
So,
I have a model that I could use from Freedom
right,
that would be easy to do. Here it is, just take this is what we want. And I've run it by a few people.
so we require a petition that goes to the planning board first, but then it goes to another layer, like the zoning board,
Nope,
just the planning board.
just the planning board. The zoning board is a judiciary form of government. All they do is interpret what the zoning ordinances say on a case-by-case basis as presented to them by someone with a complaint, somebody looking for an appeal against the zoning ordinances.
So, let's say there was enough people here in Idlewise to sign a petition and present this to the planning board, can this be done at any point in the year, or is it another thing that's like an annual meeting, you can only do warrant articles then, or?
It has to go in front of a hearing. And then there are deadline dates in the fall that it has to be voted by the planning board to go on the warrant. Except for petitioned articles, they go on the warrant without the planning board. So it's the annual meeting that votes new zoning regulations in.
Okay,
And that's done on the paper ballot on the Tuesday, not the deliberative session at the annual meeting in the gym on Saturday. So when you go to vote for offices, that's when you're voting for planning board zoning changes.
I'm sure we can get it more than enough signatures. There are plenty of people who seem to have voiced they don't want camping.
Well, then I asked them why they had resistance to it, and they kind of softened that and said, well, would be open to looking at it and putting it in front of a hearing. So I asked them, would they be interested in a little time in reviewing iterations that we had, if they had feedback that would change it.
And also, as I understand it, this is only gonna apply to the Idlewise zone.
Yes.
Right.
And there was a little confusion, I think, with the board as to that fact, is that I'm talking about just the Idlewise zone, because one of them actually said, well, this is gonna apply to the entire town. I said, no, you're missing the
I
point of
think one of the
zoning.
new selectmen, she's a woman, of course she's a woman. I think she said she used to live in Idlewise, if I recall correctly. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
She's good.
Joy, someone or other?
She has nothing to do with this.
Oh, but because he's a selectman, so it has nothing to do with planning.
She's
board.
not the
Right.
representative to the
Right,
planning
right,
board, she
right.
doesn't have a vote on the planning
Okay.
board. And that's separation of powers, which is
Yeah.
why they have a planning board,
Right, right.
not having the selectmen do it in any town. So, that's what I spent my time working on, I'm just reporting on that. If this board thinks that we should send a draft based on the freedom to the planning board and continue with this, I'd be willing to do that. I don't have a lot of time. I keep thinking of FEMA just draining all my time,
Well,
and how did I get into
If you
zoning
could send
ordinances?
us, if we can review the Freedom one, what you found, it sounds like you're thinking it's a perfect model that would work in Idlewise.
I sent it out to the social discussion on the internet, and the feedback I got was, this looks good, this might work for us, so through the office, I'll send you the draft from the Freedom, and we can
Okay.
talk about it again.
Okay. I mean, I saw the initial discussion, but I didn't see what you
You
just.
didn't get the link?
I didn't see that. So-
Well, you can see the link if you go back and look at the post,
Okay.
both of you can.
Yeah, and I would think that this is something that the citizen group could weigh in on as well, you know, when we get that going.
I'd like them to take it and run with it, but.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Well, we can at least send it to the planning board so they can, next month, they can give us a little feedback on it, and that might determine what happens with this thing at all.
right,
Sounds like if everybody's good, the language is all there, it seems like a very simple process, just change a few things to
Make it-
Village District of Idlewise and
Yes.
submit it.
Yep,
Sounds like
okay.
a very low,
Take a look at that, we'll discuss it, and then if
Okay.
you wanna modify it, I'll modify it, and we'll
Alright.
go from there, because we have until
I'll
next
try and
month.
find that, if not, I'll be back in touch, I'll read it.
The other thing that was interesting is, at that planning board meeting, I had taken it from the annual report. The assessed value of all the property that's taxable in the town of Madison is $595 million. $595,143,879, to be exact, if you added up all the land and all the buildings that can be taxed. Of that, $135,336,208 is Idlewise. Idlewise taxable land is 135 million out of the 595 million. That means that 22.7% of all taxable property in Madison is in Idlewise. That means that we pay 22.7% of the bill for the transfer station, for the school, for everything.
Right,
So we're 22.7% of the town.
so we should have more leverage, we're over 20, we're over.
Well, no,
No.
that doesn't equate to what the law says, but it does say that as far as the size of the zone, the importance of the zone in the zoning ordinances it's 22.7% of the town. Just a fun fact. And I'll leave it at that, just point that out. And I think I'll stop there. I would like to get going on catching the website up. So at some point, I would like to begin having these sessions that are tolerable where I start to put the minutes, start filling in the minutes, and you get to watch and then do some hands-on, and it slowly,
Sure.
so when you're comfortable, you can have the whole thing and do the, as each, when we get the thing backfilled with all the minutes, which I'm not gonna dump on you, I'm gonna continue to do this as a project. But get to the point that as we approve minutes, you put the minutes of that week up.
Correct.
And you feel completely comfortable in the whole process.
Yep.
So maybe next week we'll find the first 15 minutes to start that when I come in the office.
So
Which
is
means
the
you
web,
drop everything what you're doing.
okay. But
Because I
that
have to
doesn't mean
blow
that the
through the door.
website is caught up with all the meeting minutes that, okay, fine.
Right.
Nowhere near.
Well, it's all right, I mean,
Well,
we should just have out there what people are really interested in is
yeah, we're gonna
what's
backfill
ongoing.
it starting with the most recent stuff, which I believe
Yes.
people wanna know. And then
Correct.
we have to go back and fill in
Right.
years, and I'll do that.
Yeah, cause I don't have access to it, I don't know where they are.
Yeah, we'll start to give you access to it
Yeah.
next week. So we'll arrange a time that's convenient for you and me. That's it for me. Just have to stop.
Okay, I have one question. I think I know the answer to this is for Jennifer, and if the answer is no, which I think it's gonna be, I will again follow up. But in my absence, did Dawson ever get in touch with us regarding?
No, 0.
Okay. They were supposed to send both a scope of remaining work to be done and hone in on the date. They told us late June, well, we're almost in the middle of June, so now I think we're at a point where we can ask for, give us a specific date. What are you gonna do? I'll follow up with Abigail on that one.
Thank you, that's excellent. That's great.
That's all I have.
Oh, okay.
That's enough.
I have more driveways. So there's the 6 that are gonna get the new letter.
The expired
And
letter.
The expired letter. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for signing. So, the first one is 12 Blinden.
This is a modification for pavement?
This was for an existing driveway that recently got paved.
Oh,
It got paved on Glendon.
Yes, yes, it
so
has
this is
been
the
paved.
approval for the operations
12
permit?
is the big,
Yes.
the big red ranch.
Yes. So,
I'll make a
There.
motion that we sign that application.
all right,
Nancy and I inspected this.
second,
Further discussion?
No?
All in favor?
aye.
Aye, 3-0.
And where is this again?
12 Blinden.
Okay.
Operations.
Yep. The next one I have is also in operations. It is 39 Interlaken.
This is the waterfront house?
The one next to Larry's?
Yes,
Well, it's at the intersection of Altdorf,
Altdorf,
and Interlaken.
yep,
It's a long driveway from Interlaken to the
Oh.
waterfront house on Middle Peak.
right,
Right, the one that is still.
It's been under construction for a long time.
Yep.
That's one they had to move the foundation back because it was too close to the water.
I believe that is
They poured a
the,
foundation, they had to tear it out and then move it back in.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
I've been watching that one for years. every
Yeah.
time.
so,
I'll make a motion that we approve that driveway for construction.
nope, this is for operations.
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 Second.
So,
Aye.
So, okay,
I'm just thinking, I bet you they do more work on that driveway, but it meets all the setbacks from the
Correct.
corners and it slopes downhill. They're not
Right.
gonna have a problem with changing it in a way that's gonna affect us, so.
right. My guess is they would do a final grade,
Right, Maybe.
but that's maintenance.
yep, okay. So I'm in favor of that too, so
Okay.
that's 3-0. Oh, yep.
Aye, yep.
Aye.
And the address is 39,
39
Interlaken.
Interlaken.
Oh, so they're claiming an interlaken
yes, they're not
Address versus
using,
outdoor.
they have a roughed-in driveway off of Altdorf, but they didn't apply for that.
That was, I think, for construction only.
Yeah, that was how they got the equipment in or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah.
But they should have applied for that, according to the ordinance. They should have applied for 2 driveways.
Yes. Yes, we're finding that out, but
Yes,
they,
that's by the boards on us. Be interesting, if they continue to use that, we might have to say something to them.
yes, if we do notice that they continue to use it, then we'll have to get them
Particularly if they
to
plow
put a
it.
second.
If they plow it, then we really have an issue,
No.
because it does
Is
slope
there any
away
way
from
we
the
can
road.
just warn them that the construction driveway is no longer?
We could.
Okay.
So they get sent. This is what they get sent,
Yes.
we could put a note on this saying the construction driveway, the driveway on Altdorf has not been applied for.
Listed as remove Altdorf
Yes.
access. And then if they come back to us, they're gonna need a new driveway permit for creating that one.
Altdorf is ALTDORF?
Yes.
You can keep going.
Okay. Next one I have is 9 Blinden
Is this an operations?
operations. These pictures from where it started, all the information's there. It went through a renewal process at one point. It started as the construction person, and now the owner has finished it with the culvert.
SBK, that's the Condrats, they're the
Yeah.
construction firm.
Yeah. So 9 Blinden, ready for operations.
Motion, second to approve it.
Second?
All
Aye.
further discussion?
Aye.
All in favor,
Aye.
3-0. We spent some time looking at this one. Now we're into looking at the way the watermarks on the road tell the story of how the driveway is really operating. And this was a pretty elaborate driveway scheme. The land was pitched and there were culverts under the driveway well into the property because it was kind of like a seasonal brook flowing through it.
It's sort of the log cabiny one?
No,
No?
downhill from that.
Downhill from that.
The newer house downhill.
Oh, yes,
Yes.
yeah, I know what,
Yeah.
oh, right, okay, yeah.
They did well though.
It
It's
works.
with the drainage and everything they got it nice. They got a nice extra culvert right in the middle of their yard. It does work as far as all the drainage goes. This one's 19 Blinden. This was pave an existing driveway. It's already been paved and it did fine. Doesn't show any signs of any negative impact on the roads.
19.
19.
I'm trying to picture it. Which one is that?
gonna say, across the street and down.
From contract?
Yeah,
What's the name on it?
Gray?
Paula Gray and John Gray.
It's actually, that's the big red log cabin ranch. Up the hill,
Yes,
with the generator.
Paula Gray,
picture.
yes, with the
Yes.
Generac out front, yeah, that's the big red log cabin ranch, yep.
So I'll make a motion, we approve that.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
3-0. We haven't got to Thomas yet, right? That's for a modification, he wants to pave an existing driveway on Linden. It's the one with the boat in the driveway.
Did we already?
Did we do it?
I think we already did that one.
Just didn't notice the name.
We've done, that's a third Linden one we've done.
Thomas. Thomas is the last name,
Yes.
right? Yes,
Right. Yes,
yes,
we did it. Okay.
okay. The next one I have is 6 Upper Lakeview. And that's the house that the sign in front, the post out front says 10,
Yes.
but it's actually 6.
This is
And
near the intersection of Oak Ridge Road and Upper Lakeview,
yes,
across from the Lakeview PRV.
yeah, so what these people did was they actually made a second driveway that is much better than the original driveway. The original driveway went very steep, and this is much more rounded and curved, better to come into the road.
Okay. So that has a single car garage, and right now I think there's some motorcycle week people staying up there.
Uh-huh,
That's the one?
yep.
So
He has a
we had
motorcycle.
original designs for the one prior to that, and then,
Yes,
oh,
There's
yes,
2 driveways now.
yep. So there was the original one on Upper Lakeview
I
and
see.
the existing one, and that's the new one, coming towards Oak Ridge.
So is this
So it's a
the new
second.
one the one you're approving, is that the new one?
Yes,
And it's 6,
6 Upper Lakeview.
So did we vote on that one?
operations, no, is it an operational?
Yes,
Yeah.
So motion to approve that permit for operation,
second,
Aye.
3-0. You in favor of that, Nancy, because you're signing it?
mm-hmm. I said aye.
Well, you seconded.
And seconded
The
it,
second doesn't mean you approve it.
that's true. 2 more. We had a lot,
Yeah.
saw a lot last week.
Yeah, you really did.
We need to pack lunches for these trips.
I'll make a day of it.
Um,
Take Hank along with you too.
this next one is back up on Upper Lakeview, 13 Presidential View.
This is the lot that I was talking about with Jeff.
Yes. And it got paved. This was a pavement.
right.
So it was an existing driveway that was paved.
No, it's not the one that I talked about with Jeff. This is around
This
around
one's
the
up
corner.
around the corner.
This is Claudia's.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, this actually is. Yeah. This is
I'll make
Keller's.
a motion to approve that for operation.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. He didn't say it. I think he said it. He didn't say he approved.
I said aye.
Oh, you did.
She did say aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Stop the tape. I want to see playback.
Are we gonna do a
I'm throwing
5-minute?
the flag.
I'm gonna abstain from making any comments.
And the last one that got okayed from last week's outing is 64 Oak Ridge Road. This is also an existing driveway that recently got paved. and it's fine, the pavement is not.
64 Oak Ridge Road, this is Joe O.
Joe, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, this was Joe's house.
make a motion to approve that.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
So approving that pavement, request, is it because they could alter the driveway in the
Yes.
paving?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and it can also change the way the water sheds from the property into the
Yeah.
road.
Yeah,
So,
of course, 'cause
yes,
it's even more so being paved.
yep, so that's why
Gotcha.
paving requires, that was,
That's it?
Anything
Any
else,
more on
Nancy?
your
I
report?
think that was enough.
Nothing else, okay,
You done with your report?
Yep,
all right.
Correspondence at, what time we have now?
It is.
10:14?
11:13, 11:13.
11:13. Correspondence, temporary fencing for renters who own dogs.
Yeah, interesting.
there are no ordinances on fencing in Madison. The general rule of thumb would be to make sure it's far enough back that if it was there over the winter, it's not gonna get destroyed by a plow.
Okay,
I wonder if it's, falls under the category of a structure, meaning it has to meet the setbacks in the zoning ordinances.
Not a fence. A
No?
fence is not a structure.
Okay. So that's the only recommendation we have for them, is that they would keep it
on the road.
10 feet back from the road frontage so that our wing plows don't
Yeah,
destroy it.
Yeah, especially if they're gonna be there
Or the
for,
dogs.
for a year or longer than a year. And there was something, that somebody sent something in about cats, and there is nothing,
yeah.
Let's not
that
talk about
regulates cats.
Feral cats that are.
that. Let's keep
No.
going, let's,
No.
we're not going down.
Okay,
Nope.
all right, never mind.
So we're done with correspondence, we
Yeah.
have no, any public appearances? Do we have public comments at 11:16?
I only have one public comment. Is FEMA gonna reimburse us for all the time Jeff has spent doing their reports? I mean, this is ridiculous. I agree with you that they're asking for a lot of stuff. I mean, probably half of Jeff's time over the past 2 weeks has been measuring culverts and all that stuff. So that's what I wanted to say.
We will be applying for that.
I hope,
Whether FEMA gives us a dime
I
is
know
not
that's the other
known.
frustrating part about it, but I just had to comment.
Where are we with the credit card? Speaking of Dinah.
You're looking at me and I don't know.
Have we heard if we're approved or not?
A credit card? I've received nothing. I was actually going to ask you. I asked Nancy and she
Yeah.
didn't know.
Well, we sent the application in about a week ago, so I'll follow up.
Okay,
Yeah, so mostly I was figuring that it might just show up in the
It
mail.
might too.
Well, that's what I
Yeah.
still haven't seen anything.
Okay. Follow up, I guess.
Okay.
these dates,
Can take quite a while.
June 18th, June 25th, oh, July,
Underwriting.
we're going into July. Okay, good, that is personal.
My personal stuff,
Okay, so,
because I don't have to.
we have no non-public session, and we have the dates all the way through July. We have 2 more dates in Tuesdays in June, and all the 5 July weeks are on Tuesdays also.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.